one of my previous lifetimes, I actually started out, I studied at the Stella Adler Conservatory in New York City. This was 89 to 91, so it was the year before Stella passed away. This is a really long time ago. So, but studying theatre, because I just love theatre.
The only thing it is that you act with your soul. You do not act words, and you do not act this. You act with your soul, and you don't have that soul yet. You don't, and that's why you want to be an actor. I don't blame you. That's why you all want to be actors.
And it has had a lasting influence on me as a visual arts practitioner, as an art historian, and now as a filmmaker, obviously, because I have tremendous appreciation for the art of performance. Even though I never acted, I knew better than to call myself an actress. I never went for auditions or anything, but I have those 2 years full-time studying theatre and the art of performance have really endeared me to the processes that actors go through. So I do consider myself to be very actor-centric. But they kind of overlapped, because between approximately 89 to 99, I was in New York City mostly, and then moved into Boston. I was working on small productions, a bit of theatre and a bit of film, independent films, a lot of student films like NYU Columbia. And then I studied film myself, and I was making short experimental films and animation. And but I didn't think there was much of a future in terms of, at the time, to support myself, because I wanted to make short, silent, experimental films. And it's very difficult to be able to pay the rent making silent films that are experimental. So, and then I went into academia from there, basically because I wanted to do research on artists to make documentaries. So it's the reason that I kind of modulated, I moved into studying art history, was because I wanted to do research, to make films about artists. And but I got sucked into it, and I ended up spending so many years in academia. But it was all either history of collecting, which has to do with individual collectors, because I think they're fabulous characters to study, or museum studies, because I'm much more interested in the spatial aspect of where art history manifests itself, rather than just traditional art history of, just studying painting or studying single individual either movements or artists and so on and so forth. And even when I was doing my doctorate and doing research and spending time at the Barnes Foundation, studying Albert Barnes and his relationship with John Dewey, and being interested in collectors as these passionate characters. I mean, they're such operatic characters, but they're real. It reignited my interest and passion to go back to film, because it's pure drama. It's just pure drama. When you're learning, when you're reading about history of collecting and collectors, going back to Rudolph II, the Holy Roman Emperor, circa 1500s, on to today, you're always learning about these people who would do almost whatever it takes to get to, where they want to get and what they want to get, and, formulate their world picture, which is really what a collection is. I mean, I can talk about this for a month without interruption, so you can interrupt me. Well, in 2012, after I finished writing my thesis, I just decided to go cold turkey, really, on academia. I thought, if I don't stop now, I'll never stop, because you just keep going with it, which is how I ended up spending 12, 13 years. The art market, my mom was a painter. So when I went to high school in Smithtown, my mom, she would paint in the kitchen. So when we came home every single day, we would sit around the table and talk about how we can sell her paintings. And I was a teenager. So the art market, I didn't call it the art market. You don't, it's like as a teenager, we weren't that aware. But you're constantly trying to think and come up with different ways of what is it that attracts collectors? What is this art world about? How do you get a dealer? Something that, to me, it's so intriguing, this organic question of what inspires people to acquire works of aesthetic, just objects which nobody needs, but you do need it ultimately at some point. And just the whole question of art and acquisition, and it's, to me, it's very organic. It's life. My taste as a filmmaker, I think I'm very Oriental because I love Japanese cinema, Russian cinema, Eastern European, some Iranian cinema like Kiarostami, and who passed away, and Panahi, and of course all the masters of the Italian cinema, and whether it's Visconti and Antonioni, who's fabulous, and so on and so forth. But I just want to work with people whose tastes and aesthetics complement what I do rather than echo it. But if you think about it, from Singapore to San Francisco, people are creating works. If you go to a flea market, Sunday market, or a Friday market, people are creating artworks, be it textile, be it a painted pottery, and they're selling it. And to me, as far as I'm concerned, that's the market. That's the art market. I mean, it's not just Chelsea galleries, 36 galleries in Chelsea selling fine art, brand name artists. So I think it's a huge, huge market.